Hello everyone, and welcome to another Warhammer 3 battle. I am playing as the Vampire Coast with Count Noctilus, and I'm fighting against Bretonnia, being led by the Prophetess of Life, strangely enough. And this is going to be a land battle on a big, flat, open map, which is the way all land battles should be. No terrain, no gimmicks, no control points, just flat, empty wastes with nothing on it. Anyway, so my army here is a pretty typical Vampire Coast army, I think, for what I like. It's a lot of zombie pirate deckhands mobs with cutlasses, and then some polearm variants, and then some bomb variants, and that's sort of it. In the back, I've got deck gunners, long-range sniper units, and then the black spot. I figured, you know, if I'm going against Bretonnia, I'm gonna want to have, you know, anti-large on these units. And they've also got charge reflection, which I feel like is pretty dang important. I was a little concerned if my opponent would bring Blessed Field Trebuchets, so I did bring a couple carronades to try to out artillery him, but I feel like if he did bring more trebuchets, I would have been pretty punished. Anyway, these are Count Noctilus's spells. Also in the distance, I have some bats, I have some dogs, more bats and dogs. Anyway, for my opponent's army, a lot of questing knights. Huge Rohirrim of questing knights. His front line is just chaff, you know, the usual garbage. Men-at-arms with shields, actually. And over here is peasants on horses. Yep. And yeah, he's got two paladins, as expected, on horseback. So I'm trying to move my forces, my little skirmishing units, way back to the front. I am just annihilating these questing knights with the carronades. These poor Frenchmen being absolutely slaughtered before they can even get to the field of battle. Shot by deck gunners, shot by carronades, shot by Count Noctilus, just butchering this unit before it can do anything at all, which is great. But this is where the fun begins. I am being swarmed by Pegasus Knights, which I didn't see. I get hit by a Dwellers Below, which I don't pay close enough attention to, and it annihilates my Carronade squad. My front line immediately gets hit by some Mounted Yeomen, which is, it's fine. I've got some polearms ready to go. My bombers are getting dove on by these Pegasi. The Questing Knights are forming around, looking for an opening. Noctilus is being hit by Pegasus Knights, although I summoned some deckhands mobs to try to trap up a couple of these guys, and we do successfully, but he's still dancing around with these Pegasus Knights, and I'm trying to distract them with fell bats, which is maybe not a good idea, because those fell bats are just going to die really fast. He's moving his Questing Knights around. He's looking for an opening. This is still a good fight for him, but one carronade is still firing, still ripping shots and killing Questing Knights. Get some bombs being thrown into this paladin, doing 200 damage. He sweeps through somehow with these mounted yeomen, but unfortunately for him, he gets on the black spot, which I think the black spot might actually just kill his mounted yeomen in combat, but not if they get rear charged by questing knights. Thankfully, he goes for the bomber squad instead. But oh my goodness, I was definitely panicking at this point, because like my back line is compromised. He's got knights running inside my little death ball. Noctilus is surrounded by these anti-large flyers. Although granted, one of them is routing off, and I am chasing with fell bats. That questing knight just completely deleted by cannon fire. Now my deck gunners are getting jumped on by these questing knights, so my expensive tool is dying. My lead basically is all in this one questing knight unit that's dead, and that's not looking like it's going to be maintained. I try to get a summon with zombies, but my opponent gets out of there just a little too fast. I've got this one carronade shooting almost point blank into these questing knights, and the frontline fighting is just a wash. It's zombies versus peasants. Nothing really super exciting. And it is apocalyptic. I am dropping a bombardment on these Pegasus Knights, but he Earthbloods this sort of big clump, hitting all of his expensive, important units, the Paladins, the Pegasus Knights. But we're sort of reforming back here somehow. The black spot is still alive, although half dead. The deck gunners are a little injured, but they're still alive. He still has mounted yeomen running around. Those guys just rout, I guess, because they saw something. These scurvy dogs chasing away these questing knights, which is good. Looking around the battlefield, yeah, there's not much going on. I've got some dogs still way in the back. What is this? Yeah, Winds of Death. Like, here we can see the most wasteful Winds of Death ever to kill, maybe like 100 peasants. I used the most, like, expensive magic spell in the whole game. Deck gunners get trapped again by these questing knights just jumping into my lines, and I try to summon again, and, you know, it's better this time. We do catch some of them, and we pull in some pole arms to try to defend the deck gunners, but they are crumbling, and they are dead and gone. In the back, I have pole arms that were chasing something, but I'm trying to pull them back now. These bombers are dying. The black spot is dying. Pegasus Knights have jumped onto them. Count Noctilus is doing good, but he's getting dove on by these two paladins, and this is a horrible situation for me. If Count Noctilus dies, this army kind of dies with it. The balance of power is bugged, and it's really inflated because of his existence. So if these paladins kill him, I have basically a 0% chance of winning this game. And now the Carronade is once again being compromised, and I'm trying to run over with these pole arms, but he's still got these paladins on Noctilus just whacking at him, doing like crazy chunks of damage. And we slam the paladins with bombs. Is this another bombardment? It is, yeah, even a horrible skull in the sky. And you know, that was pretty good. Yeah, it was like 700 damage. Earth blooding those questing knights over there. Good move from my opponent. However, I simply swarm his paladins with pole arms, and for whatever reason, that paladin gets terror routed. So he leaves his friend to fight a bunch of zombies alone. And I have Noctilus heal himself, heal a couple more of his zombies around him. But he is just cleaning up my infantry at this point. Still have the black spot, though, and he dives on them with the peg. I think the black spot, again, would probably just kill the Pegasus Knights here. But being hit from the front and the back, not a great place to be, so the black spot probably looking pretty bad. But I still have a huge amount of infantry. I actually have a lot of ammo on Noctilus, and I even still have a lot of magic. And because one of his paladins terror routed away, I'm feeling pretty good. But you can see here there's a bit of sorcery as my opponent uses the Dwellers Below, and my goodness, was this a throw by me. Holy moly. My winning assets, these super healthy zombie units, completely dead. I lose all of them. I'm left with this Carronade crew, which is still alive, although about to be pushing up daisies. Noctilus is still okay, and I still have a couple zombies who weathered the storm. I really should just run him back. I guess he's not getting hit. The Paladin's trying, but there's like one zombie in the way that's body blocking him. And the other Paladin's totally caught up. But in terms of cavalry, my opponent doesn't really have much left. These Paladins and his Lord are basically his most valuable assets. And his Lord is fighting the Black Spot, which is fine by my reckoning. Carronade crew still alive. I pulled them off just in time, although they are crumbling. I'm going to try to put them on the cannon and maybe get a shot or two off. But incredibly, my opponent doesn't really have much left. It's a very, very fast, very violent, very bloody game. But he's going to get army lost. And that's it. Honestly, I was shocked that I managed to persevere that game, but came down to a lot of high value trading in the beginning and also chasing units away with my scurvy dogs and my fell bats, not letting the really scary questing knights or mounted yeomen come back into the game, because otherwise that could have just been my doom. Noctilus did okay. The Black Spot did good enough. This Carronade just got owned instantly, did nothing. This guy, he shot the questing knights, this one unit who didn't see combat at all, just got blown to shit and then died. The deck gunners were not good. They did not work. This scurvy dog killed, and for every life they took, it was worth half a gold coin. These scurvy dogs, though, did great. The bombers, they were all right. All the pole arms, you know, whatever. The zombies, you don't really expect the zombies to get like thousands of gold value, but you know, whatever they can do is good enough. The prophetess did pretty cool. Pegasus Knights, interesting, fun pick. I don't think they were really correct in this case. Could have been better served just taking some cheaper cavalry. The paladins did good. Yeah, I mean, the Bretonnia infantry did about as well as you can expect. So, fun match. Thanks for watching.